Hi guys, and welcome to another process video. So this one was this is a layout I made during INSD, and I think it was for a challenge in the Mercy Tiara group, maybe the bingo challenge, but I don't really remember what I had to use. So I think it was watercolor was one of them, and then 2 photos was another one, and a one-word title maybe. I'm not sure. If I remember, I'll tell you as I go along. So I'm starting by dressing my page because I know I want to do tons of watercolor. And I pulled those 2 photos from my Rome album, but I'm not going to end up using them. So I thought I would try a new technique. So this bottle you see is meant to be a soap dispenser, like a traveling size. So I decided I just put water in it, and I'm trying to make a spray sort of thing here. So I'm adding some liquidy watercolors. Well, they're not liquid, but they're like a paste. They're not that ones that need to be activated with water. So anyway, I'm adding some of those. I'm spreading them around with a paintbrush, and then I'm adding a lot of water on top, and then using my paintbrush again just to make the pigment disperse a bit more. And when I add the water, the pigment splashes everywhere, and I get these cool splatters, and they just enter the colors mix, and I just love it, and I really like how it turned out. So now I'm adding green, but I didn't clean my paper I didn't clean my brush correctly, so I just wiped that off and added more green because it was just too of a, I don't know, it was a yucky green. Anyway, so now I'm adding more water, and when the colors mix too much and they start to become brown, I'm just using a paper towel to dab them. And also because I had a lot of water, I'm just trying to dab off as much as I can. And now I'm coming in with some blue, and I didn't clean my brush again, but it's blue with green, so that's not a huge deal if they mix a bit. But I am going to dab that green off, and adding more water. And I advise you, if you do try this technique, maybe remove everything that's surrounding the layout because the splatter gets everywhere. I had some on my computer screen, I had some on my filming device, I had some on my clothes. It was just a huge mess, but I really liked how it turned out. And then I decided to add this darker shade of blue, just to add, I don't know, just to add some contrast with the nice bright colors. It's not like it's a very dark shade, but yeah, and it also matches those suits perfectly in the photos. So I decided that the photos I pulled originally didn't work anymore, so I knew I had these paintball photos, and I thought the way the paint was splashed onto the page would work perfectly with those photos. So I pulled those out, and now I had to use puffy stickers as part of the challenge. So I pulled out all my puffy stickers to see what options I had. And I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, I want to get the Rise and Shine 6x6 paper pad from... Not the Rise and Shine, +1 6x6 paper pad from Amy Tangerine, which I only used one... I think this is the second layout I made with it. And I really love those colors. They're just nice, bright, bold colors, and they're just really up my alley. So I'm just pulling anything that I think might work. So pinks, greens, oranges, black and whites, cut aparts, everything. And I also had to use a camera, so that's the 5. So camera, 2 photos, one word layout, one word title, watercolors, and puffy stickers. So those were what I chose to use from that bingo board. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing there. Okay, move on. Alright, so I waited for my page to dry, and it's dry now. So I'm just pulling out all those products again, and I'm going to figure out how I want to lay my photos on the page. And that's not how they're going to end up, but I played around with it a bit. I really wanted to use that orange piece, so I originally started with putting the photos that way, and I was thinking maybe I could do a different pattern on each side, but I just wasn't liking that. So I put them next to each other horizontally, and it's the first time I ever did that, and I really like how it turned out. So then I'm gonna layer a bunch of papers just to fill that strip at the top and bottom. So I started with the that orange paper, and now I'm gonna add this pink, and of course I'm going to cut it down because I do not want to use a whole 6x6 sheet when only a little bit is gonna peek out because I just love it so much. So now I'm looking for a third piece, and I thought I was gonna add a third color, but it's just too distracting, and I don't know, it just wasn't really working. So I pulled that blue, and now I'm pulling this green, but I don't like it. It just distracts too much from that orange, and I really wanted the orange to be the star because I love that pattern so much. Okay, so now I'm still fidgeting. So I decided to try that green paper, but I didn't like it. And then I'm going back to the blue, and I'm being very indecisive. Yeah. And then I decide I'm just gonna add the same paper, the same pink paper to both sides. So I'm testing it out before I cut into it again. So that's that. And then the orange pops and the pink helps it to pop. So again, you can see I'm sparing every single piece of that paper, and I'm just going to use that the tiniest strips as possible that I could use for layout to work. And then I'm using this Yoo-hoo glue just because I didn't want to get up and go get my ATG. And I'm also gluing, I want to be able to scooch it around. And because the glue is liquid, I can easily do that before it dries. So I am overlapping my photos slightly because I want there to be some space on either sides of the layout. I don't want the photos to take up the whole paper. I don't want them to be like 12 inches. I want them to be like 11 or maybe 10. So there's a bit on each side. Anyway, so yes, I'm just cutting everything down. I'm sparing as much paper as possible. Again, I just love that paper pad too much. And I'm gluing things down. And I'm using the Yoo-hoo Twist and Glue glue. It's a really strong adhesive that basically can stick down anything. And then I apologize for keep putting my head under, but when I go back and add glue, I can't really see where the glue is going unless I put my head under the camera a bit. So here I'm trying to see which camera piece I want to use and where. So I decided to glue down my photos before I think about that more. So I'm getting rid of that paper just to try to clean as I go and not have to clean for an hour after making one page. So, but I am keeping the papers that I used on the layout. So when I scrapbook, I tend to keep the papers that I actually used on a layout with me throughout the whole layout, just in case I might want to add a little strip to create an embellishment cluster, or I want to add another layer, or just anything really. And then I am taking these, what are they called? Puffy stickers from the Atwell collection. And they're the black and white alphabet sticker. And they, what was it? But they're from the Atwell collection is by Fancy Pants. So I'm spelling out the word paintball. And I'm not sure if it's one word or two, but I'm presuming it's one, and I'm just going with it. But that diagonal stripe, I just felt that it was getting too lost, and I wanted something a bit more bold. So I'm going to instead use these Wonder Thickers from American Crafts, and they're a beautiful black foam letter sticker. I just love them, and I have 3 packs of them. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna spell out the word paintball again. And I'm not really paying too much attention if they're lined up or not, because I was still testing if I like them or not. And then once I'm sure, I'm going to line them up a bit more like I'm doing now. And I'm also trying to center them with the 6x6 paper there as much as possible, which is why I'm also moving them a bit to the right once I reposition them. And now I decided to use that little pink cut apart at the bottom there, and then I pulled that puffy sticker, and that completes everything that I had to add on the page. So now I needed something at the top. So I'm going through a bunch of things to find something to stick there. And I decided I'm going to do my journaling up there just to add that black element and not make the bottom part of the layout as heavy as it was before I added the things on top. So I can't really see what I'm writing now, but it's just how me and my swim team went to play paintball one day. And I'm going to add another puffy sticker. No, I'm not going to add a puffy sticker. I'm going to add something else that you'll see in a bit. So I still feel like I need something at the top. Doesn't have to be too big, but it's just feeling a bit empty. So I'm taking my basket of embellishments, and in that basket is mostly stickers and just some loose bits and pieces. And I pull out these enamel dots. And I have the Dream in Color and the hashtag Happy collection by Alison Kreft, and both of those are Webster's pages. And then I also found that beautiful green glitter in the me and my Bigadia's Mambi Chips chipboard set, and the travel theme was perfect. So I just used Discoveries, and then I added a pink enamel heart at the top, and I'm going to add a blue enamel dot in the center of that camera just to bring that enamel texture in both of my clusters. And as always, I'm writing on the back when I made the layout and when the photos were taken. So here are some close-ups of the layout. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you liked it and you would like to get notifications from when I post new videos, don't forget to hit subscribe. And also, you can follow me on Instagram. There's links below and so on. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.